Hey friends, it's Goldi, and today I'm gonna tell you everything that you need to know about getting a tooth gem and even the removal process, because it marks the end of an era for me. I have my tooth gem right here. In my finger, I hold one of the biggest parts of my identity. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it on the camera, but there are 2 diamonds missing on it now. Because I actually had this one for 3 years, and prior to that, I had another one on another tooth for 2 years. So I've had tooth gems in different tooths. I had different types of tooth gems, and I really consider myself a tooth gem expert at this point. Again, this is one of the things like that I was first complimented on. I don't have my glasses on right now, but I either get complimented on my glasses or I would get complimented on my tooth gem. It's definitely something that is going to be eye-catching. I had this one in my very front tooth, this one right here. Before that, I had one right here. I know it seems tiny in my finger, but actually on it covered a pretty big surface of my tooth because I don't have the biggest teeth. So I'll show you guys pictures. I was a senior when I got my first tooth gem. I got my very first tooth gem with tooth candy. At the time, there weren't a lot of like at-home tooth gemmers, and I know they had notable clients like Drake and Kendall Jenner. That's what I remember from them. So I had got a gold cross on this one right here, but it was like flat. This one was this heart that I ended up getting a couple years after that is much thicker, and it like popped out much more. One of the first questions that I always get asked after I get complimented on it is, did it hurt or did they have to drill into my tooth? And no, it's not a painful process. It's actually super simple. The entire process probably takes maybe 5 minutes, and dry your tooth, and then they put primer, and then they put the glue, and then they seal it with like a blue light. I don't know every technical term for what they use, but that's basically the process. You're literally like, and that's it, you're basically ready to go. And it is a really fun accessory. Like, I'm not gonna say it's better than grills or not, because I think that's up to everybody's, I feel like that's subjective because it depends on what you want. And for some people, they want to be able to like take off the grill. Some people, they just want to have it in. I would say that with grills, I hear so many stories of people saying that they threw away their grills. It's kind of like a retainer. It's really easy to go eat, maybe put it in a napkin, and then you throw out the napkin, and then it's gone. I will say all prices vary for tooth gems and for grills. Tooth gems are getting quite advanced now because you could get custom things, and they have gold, they have silver, they have just the Swarvoski crystals, they have like diamonds in the literal gold like this one. My first one was just a flat gold cross, and I believe it was around $100. There was like a deal going on at the time just because it was like a pop-up, but it was around $100, and that stayed on for, I want to say like 2 years. And then when I got this one, the girl who put this one on then removed the other one, so it hadn't fallen off. What I have noticed is that anything that is gold like this or silver is going to stay on longer than the Swarovski crystals. This one, I took it off myself with floss. I had hit the girl up and asked her if she could remove it because I thought it was going to be a much more intricate process, and she was like, no, I don't do removal. And I have heard you could go to your dentist so they could remove it, but honestly with this, I realized that it's so easy to remove at home. Sometimes just like mess with it because I'd be like, dang, 3 years, like how is it still holding on? But you can't, like, it's not enough for you to like go like this and try to take it off. But if you get floss and just kind of work at it on each end and like really pull on it, it's gonna pop right off. I didn't do any damage to my tooth, but I do have like a little layer of glue on this one, and it was the same for the cross. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the dentist so they could file it down, but the glue kind of just started to disintegrate with me brushing my teeth using mouthwash. I literally don't feel any of the glue that was on the other tooth. For my teeth that are right here next to the canine and next to my front tooth, I got something called composite edge bonding, which is not a veneer, but the tooth that I had right here was much smaller, and I wanted my teeth to be completely straight. So on those 2 teeth, I got like whatever material it is added to it. They didn't have to file my tooth, and obviously my tooth was small already. So with the composite edge bonding, there's nothing that you need to do. I can make a whole separate video on my experience with composite edge bonding, but back to the tooth gem. I had the tooth gem on when my tooth was small, and he added the composite edge bonding just to the bottom. It didn't touch the tooth gem, but he was able to like work around it. So easy. If you ever need like some work done to your teeth like composite edge bonding, the tooth gem is completely fine for that. My friend who did this one, Gems LA, and I've like recommended her to a lot of friends, and they all have really good reviews about her, and she does a lot of really cool designs as well. When I got this one done, I got 4 on the bottom. It was 4 Swarovski crystals because I got this one done for a shoot. I'm not sure how much this goes for. I want to say it's like between $150 and $175, around that ballpark. Definitely under $200, definitely over $100. For the blue ones, I told her I didn't want them like sealed in not permanently, but like I didn't want her to put the she suggested just not putting the primer on so it can, or maybe she used primer but not glue. I don't know. She basically didn't do one of the things, and that allowed me to get rid of the bottom ones within like a week span. But they usually guarantee them to stay on for 3 to 6 months, maybe up to a year. But both of my gems stayed on for over. So who knows? The cross might have still been on there if we never took it off. And I'm not sure how long this one would have gave me if I didn't floss it off. But first diamond fell off after around the 3-year mark, and the other day I saw that another diamond came off, so I'm like, okay, like it's looking kind of busted, like it's time for me to let go of this and enter a new era. And like I said, this is kind of a big part of my identity. I felt like right now, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a little bit boring. I always either had platinum hair, or I had a buzz cut for a long time, I had the tooth gems, or I had big nails. Right now I'm at my like some of my most stripped down version of me. People ask if it ruins your tooth. Like I said, I have a layer of glue on it. I'm not sure if you can see on camera, but I do feel that the tooth that didn't have the gem on it is whiter. And the other one, it's not like yellow, but it seems like I can notice it in the mirror. It seems a little bit dimmer. So I'll probably have to whiten my teeth. Because this one was thicker, I know there's definitely much more glue on it. So I think I will have to go to a dentist so they could like file it down a little bit. I have seen videos of people being able to do it at home. I haven't done my research on that, so I don't know how good or bad that works out. I've always gotten them done professionally. Don't be afraid to ask your tooth person questions like, where is it coming from? Who is your provider? I just heard that some people have found out that their gem came from a craft store. So it's not even a gem that's supposed to be on your tooth. And you could see the signs if it starts to brown or rust. That also could be signs of them not using the proper glue. And speaking on glue, I've also heard of people doing tooth gems at home with nail glue. Something that goes on your nails should not be in your mouth. You don't want to go and take shortcuts. You don't want to go and do it yourself just because you think you can. If you're buying one of those kits on Amazon, again, I have not done that. I cannot vouch for those. You're going through all of the reviews and make sure that the reviews are coming from people who have had them in for a while. Like I said, mine lasted 3 years and it probably could have hung on for more, but the diamonds did start falling off. I know that my tooth gem lady is a certified tooth gem girl and I have no complaints about her, and honestly, like, my gem still looks quite well even though I've taken it off. Like, realistically, I could probably go get it reapplied, but I mean, there's literal diamonds missing. So these had their run. They were fun while it lasted. I showed my mom, like, look, I took my tooth gem off, and she's like, wow, you're starting to grow up. And I'm like, I might pop out with the whole bust down grill. You never know. Yeah, tooth gems are fun. They're definitely gonna catch people's eyes. If you're looking for a little extra attention, I mean, you're guaranteed to get it, and you can get really creative with it. I've seen people create entire designs with it. Don't ever feel like you're asking too much questions. If you're getting a service provided to you, you are paying money for it, and it's gonna go on your body, whether it's a tattoo, a tooth gem, eyelashes, lip filler, the hair stuff. Make sure you do your research because you don't want to regret it. I feel like I've heard so many horror stories about so many beauty enhancements, so it's definitely not something to play with. You don't want to play with your face just to like save some money. Make sure you do these things right. Like I said, this was such a fun era. I'm feeling a little bit boring without it. Might have to go ahead and get something new, but yeah, that's everything that you have to know about a tooth gem. Additionally, I know Swarvoski crystals start at around like $40. That's just off the top of my head. I don't have my Instagram, so I can't go and like look and, you know, DM my girl who does it, but they're usually like $40 to $60. I know some people do the disco ball thing where it's like a ton of like little gems on one. I remember my sister telling me a story about her roommate at the time who did like the full crystal ball, and I believe her tooth yellowed pretty bad. I mean, you just got to be careful with these things. I can only vouch for like these gold ones, and like I said, I did the little Swarovski ones, but the Swarovski ones were very, very temporary because they were really just for the shoot. These are cool because it's not a full-on commitment. You can literally floss it off. You can go get them removed by your dentist or the person who did your tooth gems. Gems LA does not do removals. I believe she only removed my other one because we were doing something for a shoot, and the other one was like pretty flat. She had to use a little tool to remove it, and I thought I was gonna need it for this, but floss did the work for this. So yeah, that's everything that you guys need to know about tooth gems from my own perspective. If you guys have any more questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.